Now that we have focused on the pronunciation of some of the words, let's have a look and explore further about what the words actually mean. So, looking at the definitions of the words. So, let's start with number one. Number one was squirrel. Squirrel is a noun which is used to describe a tree dwelling rodent with a bushy tail, typically feeding on nuts and seeds. So, in this sentence here, the word dwelling. So, dwelling just means to live. So, your dwelling is your accommodation or your house, for example. Now, let's move on to number two. So, number two was probably. Probably. So probably is an adverb used to mean that something is very likely. So it's very likely to occur. Let's move on now to number three. Number three was the Antarctic, which is a noun used to describe the very cold area around the South Pole. That includes Antarctica and the surrounding areas. Now let's move on to our fourth word, which was asterisk. Say that aloud. Asterisk. This is quite a tricky word to pronounce. So an asterisk is a noun, it's a symbol, and it's a star-shaped symbol, which is usually used to show that additional information is given at the bottom of a page of the text. So if you are reading, for example, an information text, you might see the asterisks, and if there are any tricky or challenging words, if you follow that asterisk and you go to the bottom of the page, you will be able to find out what that word means. Okay, let's move on now to number five. So number five was rural. Rural. And rural is an adjective, and it's used to describe the countryside rather than the town. So remote rural areas. So for example, London is a city, it's very built up, it's very diverse. Whereas if you go further out of town, you will find rural areas. Okay, so there's less inhabitants, less people in rural areas, and it's less built up, less buildings. Now let's move on to our sixth word from our list. So just practice this word again. So pronunciation, which is our key word. So candidate. Number six is candidate. So it's a noun and it's used to refer to a person who applies for a job or somebody who is nominated for an election. So candidate. Now let's move on to number seven, which is confusion. Confusion. So confusion is a noun and it's used to describe the uncertainty about what is happening, intended or required. Okay, so something isn't very clear. If it's unclear, you might hear the word confusion. Now let's move on to our eighth word, which is phenomenon. So just practice saying that word aloud. So phenomenon. And this is also a noun, which is a fact, which is used to describe a fact or situation that is observed to exist or to happen, especially one which can cause its explanation to be in question. So it's a bit of uncertainty around the phenomenon. Okay, well done. So let's move on now to our ninth word. So our ninth word is my favorite word, which I love and I use with my class every single day in our reading sessions. So it's onomatopoeia. Can you remember how many syllables there are in onomatopoeia? So let's say the word and count the syllables. Onomatopoeia. 6 syllables, okay? So not only is this a really difficult word to pronounce, but it's also very difficult to spell, okay? And you'll see this in a wide variety of texts, and it's used as a literacy device to engage the reader. So you might see words like bang, crash, wallop, boom, and it just adds a bit more drama to what's been written and to engage the reader a bit more with the text. Okay, well done. So let's move now on to number 10. So our 10th word is Worcestershire. Worcestershire. So that was a noun used to describe a county. So a county is just an area with its own local government in western central England. Okay, so Worcestershire. Can you remember how many syllables Worcestershire had? So if you can remember, comment below and we'll see if you're correct. Okay, now let's move on to Our 11th word, really good. So we're doing debut, debut, which is a noun, and it describes the occasion when someone performs or presents something to the public for the very first time. So debut. Now let's move on to our 12th word, genre, genre. So this is also a noun, and it refers to a particular type of literature. So for example, painting, music, film, or other types of art. And it has like special characteristics. So what makes up like a horror movie has to have certain features, okay? So, or a romantic comedy, that to be that type of genre, it has certain features within it. Okay, so let's move on now to our 13th word, which is hierarchy. Hierarchy. So hierarchy is a noun which refers to a system in which people or things are arranged according to their importance. So you might hear it being used in the sentence, some monkeys have a very complex social hierarchy. Okay, so well done for all of your really hard work during this session, not only on pronunciating the words, pronouncing them, but also having a look and exploring what the words actually mean. If you are feeling confident and you think you know how to pronounce the words, why not have a go at spelling them? So write the word down, put your hand over it, cover the word, and then check to see, so remove your hand and check if you can see if you know how to spell that word confidently. These words are not only difficult for people that don't natively speak English, they're also challenging for people who do speak English. So don't feel like you're alone. It's only the first session. Keep practicing. And if you do feel confident, as well as doing the spellings, practicing the spellings, also have a go at finding synonyms or antonyms for the given words. So well done for taking part in your first lesson. You have done amazing. And I look forward to seeing you here next time on Brit Somali TV. And if you have any questions at all, or you're not too sure on anything that I've taught in this session, please just comment below and I'm more than happy to help you. If your English is broken or your sentence structure is broken, do not worry, just have a go. The more practice that you have, the more confident that you will become. And it's very important that you try, okay? So well done and thank you very much for tuning in and I will see you next time. Take care.